the radio television of Djibouti. Here are our major stories for tonight. The head of state officially launched this morning the works of the first geothermal drilling in Fiale. And on the international news, India overtakes France and becomes the world's sixth largest economy. And thank you for joining us in our newsroom. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Mergele, proceeded this Wednesday morning to the launch of the exploitation work of geothermal sites in Fiale, a locality near Lake Assal. This event marks the end of a long period of study and prospection that has lasted for 2 years. It is an Icelandic drilling company specializing in the exploitation of geothermal energy that is a partner of the government of Djibouti, represented by Djibouti Electricity (EDD) in this project. The start of the exploitation of these sites is supposed to result 4 months later on the extraction of geothermal energy, last barrier to our access to sustainable development. It is therefore a highly important event for our country, where the acquisition of renewable energy is given top priority in the objectives of our government. In addition to the drop in electricity prices for Djiboutian households, the exploitation of geothermal energy will naturally result in the creation of more economic projects, especially in the trade. It will also help to connect our country with the provision conducive to real industrialization, which will quickly translate all into strong job creation. Events multiple positive consequences for the Republic of Djibouti. The ceremony dedicated to the launch of geothermal exploitation works gathered around the President Ismail Mergele, all the partners and financial sponsors, including representatives of the World Bank and the African Development Bank. The French Agency for Development, also a financial partner of this project, was represented by the ambassador of the French Republic to the Republic of Djibouti. All members of the government, as well as the First Lady and the President of the National Union of Women of Djibouti, UNFT, Mrs. Khadra Mahmoud Haid, took part in this event. EDD General Manager Mr. Jama Ali Gele, who spoke first at the launching ceremony of the Fiale drilling, reminded the importance of this drilling project. This geothermal drilling project will boost, he said, the economy of Djibouti. He also said that it brought together a large number of donors, but also on technical level several consortium of international reputation. And for his part, praised the official of the World Bank for the development efforts made to complete this large project and achieve despite the existence of obstacles and overcome them and reap the fruits of these efforts. He said, this is the result of the work of the entire team of Djibouti and the World Bank and its partners. He praised the work carried out by the Djiboutian team, which showed commitment and skill. For his part, the French ambassador in Djibouti explained the importance of this project for several reasons, because it will be a basic a project for the independence of energy in Djibouti and the socio-economic development of Djibouti under the leadership of Mr. Ismail Mergele. Said he stressed that this project falls within the framework of commitments that have broad objectives and brought 100% geothermal energy in Djibouti. The Minister of Energy, Younis Ali Gedi, has in his speech specified the importance of realizing today the first drilling. He said that this factor shows reliable and constant specific energy source, and the geothermal is ranking on the top of our country's development, he continued. However, geothermal heat systems use 25% to 50% less electricity than conventional systems for heating or cooling. And with their flexible design, they can be adjusted to different situations requiring less space for hardware as opposed to conventional system, explained the minister. Before concluding, the Minister of Energy has thanked the President of the Republic, who made a lot of effort in order to satisfy his population in development of his country. And after the speeches of the officials, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Mergele, officially launched the first drilling on the site of Yale. This is the first well in a series of 4 drillings on this site, and these are deep wells of more than 250 meters. Engineers of several nationalities, including Djiboutians, are present on the site to follow the progress of the work on site. And in an interview granted to the national television, the President of the Republic has expressed himself as the following. Let's listen to him.
All the experts agreed on the choice of this site, and they also explained the reason for this choice. It was in 1975 that the Assal Lake was designated as the most promising and richest place in water vapor and the needed heat to generate geothermal energy, and it is precisely in this area that started the first drilling. The scientific advance has revealed that if the well cannot be expensive vertically, and that it is possible to do entirely by drilling sideways on the site in horizontal manners. This is how geothermal engineers work with this new system. It should be noted that the Icelandic company specialized in geothermal energy, with which we have signed a contract, has a lot of the current experience. This is no longer in the experimental state, and the state of hope is already behind us.
Exactly what is this drilling machine and how does it operate? We will discover in this reportage.
The exploitation program in the country is divided into 2 categories. The first one is based on the exploitation of geothermal in large depth, but also in short depth. Thus, the drilling of a 3 shallow well was undertaken for an estimated cost of $20 million to be financed entirely by the country. The short-term exploitation was not limited to these 3 wells, and it is located at Pika 20 near the region of Arta. To do so, the Republic of Djibouti has additionally benefited from agreements contracted with the Commission of the African Union, in particular the Electricity National Agency in Djibouti, known as the RTD, is not left out in the geothermal field because of a loan from the World Bank of an amount of $48 million. The EDD will set up a couple drillings set of a geothermal power plant.
Present at this event, the Kenyan minister has given us an interview expressing himself as the following.
We are here as brothers from Africa to further the state visit by His Excellency Ismail to Kenya, whereby we agree that with the experience we have, we need to do the training for Djiboutians to do the exploration all the way to run the power plant. So that's why we are here. We are going to sign an MOU tomorrow, and we will see a lot of Djiboutians coming to Kenya. So far we have trained almost 27 and we'll continue training. We already have some 2 Kenyans attached to Djibouti here for training. Give all the expertise in terms of capacity building, because that is very, very crucial, because running this equipment and running the rigs by themselves is very crucial, because it will be very expensive to get all the donors funding, contractors. We want Djiboutians to be the ones drilling, and that is why we are here to assist, and we want to train them, and then they can buy the rigs. We started drilling from 1956. Our first power plant was 1981. and we are doing a total of 4 power plants, about 800 megawatts of geothermal, which is about 50% of our demand.
One of the engineers involved in the launching of this geothermal project, Hasper Ispar, said the following. Let's listen to him.
Wilmarth. I am with the GCC from San Francisco, California, Geologica, and I'm the well site geologist for this project. This drill rig is a Drill Mech HH300. It's a Italian-made drill rig. It's owned by Iceland Drilling from Iceland. It most recently came from Central America, and previously it was in New Zealand. And this rig is capable of drilling at least 3,000 meters deep and to temperatures greater than 300 Celsius.
How many times are we staying in Djibouti for this work?
For this particular project, we will be here through the end of the year 2018. Each well will take about 2 months to drill, and we plan to drill 3 wells.
The reputation of EOG Foundation Right to the Housing is well established. Indeed, a delegation from the Saudi Fund Development has come to see the work done by the EOG Housing Rights Foundation to improve the well-being of the most vulnerable populations. These experts, after the visit of the city Nassif, stressed the importance of the constructions already made and showed their support for this beautiful and generous initiative of His Excellency the President of the Republic, Ismail Mergele. The experts say they will assist the foundation right to housing for the serving of about 36 hectares on which will be built 2,000 housing. Djibouti's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, held talks Tuesday with Chinese State Council and Foreign Minister Wang Yi. The meeting took place on the sidelines of the 80th Ministerial Conference of the China-Arab Cooperation Forum held in Beijing. Discussions focused on the strengthening of the multifaceted links between the two friendly countries. In China's State Councilor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi said during his meeting with Djibouti Minister that the cooperation between China and Djibouti benefited for both peoples. Mr. Wang Yi, quoted by the Chinese news agency, later called on both sides to better understand each other and to support each other on issues of fundamental interest and major concerns. He proposed to both countries to take advantage of the opportunity provided by the construction of Belt and Road to strengthen cooperation in different areas. And moving on to the national news, the Minister of Equipment and Transport, His Excellency Mr. Mohammed Abdul Qadir Musa Helem, chaired a working meeting yesterday in the afternoon in the meeting room of the Ministry with a strong delegation from the Saudi Development Fund. This mission was composed on both sides by the senior officials of the Saudi Fund. Also took part in this meeting the Secretary General of the Ministry of Equipment and Transport, Saeed No Hassan, Director General of the Djibouti Road Agency, Mahmoud Musa, Advisor to the President of the Republic in charge of investment promotion, Mr. Fahmi Ahmed, and other officials of the Ministry of Equipment and Transport. The discussions focus on the rehabilitation of Kalafi Road and the Aran Road, as well as the ways and means to carry out this project. In the framework of a revision of curricula of the fundamental education, a seminar reflection on the skills of life and the numerical takes place yesterday at the Center of Training of Teachers of Development Fundamental Education, CEFEF. The Inspector General of the General Education, the Executive Secretary of the MENFAP, the General Directors of Education have launched the work of this seminar, in which participate many inspectors of the National Education and executives of the CRIPEN. This seminar is organized as part of the revision of the curriculum to reflect on the ways and means of integration in the curriculum of skills deemed essential to know the skills of 24th century and the introduction of the TIC. King Salman's Center for Relief in Humanitarian Affairs today granted the State Secretary for Social Affairs 100 tons of dates for vulnerable families in Djibouti. This donation from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia was given to the technical advisor of the Secretary of State for Social Affairs, Mr. Jibaha. Noted in the document attesting to the donation was initiated at the Saudi Chancellery in Djibouti by the Saudi Ambassador to the Republic of Djibouti, Mr. Mr. Abdulaziz bin Abdullah Al Daoud, the representative of the Saudi Ministry of Finance, Mr. Saad Ibrahim, and the representatives of the Center Salman King for Relief and Humanitarian Affairs in the presence of a representative of the Ministry for Foreign Affairs of Djibouti. Obituary now. We regret to announce the death of Fatuma Ali Ahmed occurred last night in Djibouti at Sheikha Hospital, born in 1934 in Obok. The deceased was the mother of our great national singer Ahmed Muhammad Amman, and she leaves behind 6 children and 36 grandchildren. In these painful circumstances, we address to the family as well as close our sincere condolences that the Almighty welcomes her in His eternal paradise. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. And on the international news now, India overtakes France and becomes the world's 6th largest economy. According to the data updated at the end of June of the World Bank, France lost last year its place of 6th world economy in favor of India. For example, India's gross domestic product (GDP) reached $2,597 billion in 2017, compared to $2,582 billion for France. The Indian economy also follows that of the United Kingdom, whose GDP last year was $2,622 billion. According to many projections, New Delhi will delay London 5th place next year. Another emerging economy power has gained a place at the expense of a European country. Indeed, Brazil has replaced Italy in 8th place as well. And that's all for this news. Thank you for joining us on the radio television of Djibouti, and have a good night.